Hi, I'm Maxine Spencer, and this is my Lab 2 on projectile motion. So the purpose of this is to observe projectile motion in real life and to understand how to use GlowScript and how to use Tracker to observe projectile motion. And also, the goal is to have a real-life application of Newton's second law. So obviously there's no motion in the z direction. The origin is somewhere on the y-axis and the end is on the x-axis in theory, which is supposed to be on the floor, but mine didn't end up being like that. And then drag is negligible enough that it'll only mildly impact motion and we can observe it either way. I don't have my graph up for the version with drag because of issues I was having, but yeah. And then the two forces are drag and gravity, but gravity is the primary one. Principles, this is sorry. Okay, anyway, the drag equation is one of the principles we have to understand, as well as acceleration due to gravity being 9.8 meters per second squared, kinematic equations, and then Newton's second law, which is that the acceleration of an object is proportional to the net force acting on it and inversely proportional to the mass. So for Tracker, I videoed myself throwing my wallet. I do realize that the floor was out of frame by the time I'm finished with the video, so I just treated the ledge that I sat my phone on as what floor level was, and this may have been the cause of some of my later issues, and the point mass was how I manually tracked motion. So here's my Tracker video. So for GlowScript, I used the video to make calculations for my GlowScript code, right there, and for some reason it showed my things as going about a meter underground. Because of this discrepancy, I had an issue finding the constant for drag. So I sort of just put one that I came up with, and my code will be on the next slide. This is my code. This is the first part, and that's the second part, which should be correct in theory, but it did not particularly do what I wanted it to. And so my data in Excel here, I was having technical issues with Excel. I was just having a lot of technical issues throughout this entire process. That was my number one lesson in this lab, is that technical issues are a big problem to have. And you know, they just keep coming. Anyway, so the data for here, for what was in Tracker, it makes sense. It ends right around floor level, but then for what's in Excel, it goes down to almost a meter below the ground. So that really, if the graph had been here, it would have been about the same for this, but completely different for both of these. So that would have been my issue, and it would have been the same issue for if the drag was there. All right, so in conclusion, I need in the future to make sure that I'm paying attention to the specifics of my code and letting there be less human error. Right, that is all for my lab this week. Thank you.